So how do you build a topic pillar? Well, the first thing we want to do is look at, as you'll recall, the overlap of the audience needs and what they're looking for with our areas of expertise. And in the sweet spot between those two is where we will find our topic clusters. What we want to do is to build 4 pillars around 4 different topics that are going to engage our target markets. And if we have more than one market, we will have probably a pillar for each one of those markets. And I'll give you examples of how that works in a few seconds. The key is, why do we build topic clusters? Well, the first thing we want to do is to demonstrate our areas of expertise to our high value audiences. In other words, we want to talk about our products and services in terms that they will find attractive, and in that way we will maximize the impact of our content on our target market. Second, we want to become a topic authority on multiple topics relevant to our target markets. And so by talking about them around a pillar and having multiple pieces of content on that same subject, we establish topic authority. Also, that as a result generates more organic search traffic. If we are identified as a topic authority, then Google's page ranking algorithms will rank us higher, which means we're into more at the top of many more searches. And as a result, it gives us more traffic to our site. It also helps us establish a predictable engagement schedule. In other words, as I put out content, I'm going to build a lot of content onto a pillar, but I'm also going to save a lot of content developed by ChatGPT that I will put out every month or two to keep people engaged with my website and to keep my name out there in terms of the areas of and topics of interest to the target market. And so what we're going to do is we'll build 4 topic pillars, and then each month we might market 1 on the 1st and 2 on the 15th, and then the next month 3 on the 1st and 4 on the 15th. But we're going to keep going out to our market to make contact and to keep our social sites going, as well as people coming to our site to read our content that we are developing for them. We also want to create links and backlinks. That is the way that Google's algorithm determines your area of expertise as well as your authority. And so we want to make sure that we have those links in there by building the right type of topic clusters and pillars and putting great topics around them, and everything is all linked up as we talked about in the last video. So how do we do that? Well, one of the places I like to start is I want to train ChatGPT on my company, which I'm using OLI Gardens as an example. And then I asked it to give me a vision and a mission statement. And so if you look through this, it's talking about communities and veterans and Gold Star families and education and gardening. And so it's talking about the things that are of expertise to us. And so I like to start there by saying, from what I'm doing and the activities I'm doing, what really represents my company and our areas of expertise. And so I usually do a couple of prompts that get me into who is the company as it's viewed by ChatGPT. After I have explored the vision and mission statements and how ChatGPT is looking at my organization, I then want to focus on the target markets that I want to develop. And so I went out and I said to ChatGPT, tell me the target audiences for this organization. And you see it's individuals facing insecurity, food insecurity, veterans and Gold Star families, youth and students, so that's the educational component, donors, which is a part of any nonprofit, community members who are focused on sustainability, that's the gardening aspect, and general and community and public service people, as well as educators. And so as I go through this, I have identified that there are several markets that would be very attractive to me. Food and families, individuals and families facing food insecurity, veterans and Gold Star families, education of the youth. And then I put that and overlay it with my vision and mission. now allows me to begin to say what would be some viable pillars that I might want to build topics around. And so this is what we came up with for OLI Gardens. What pillar one is going to be around food insecurity and food deserts. The next one's going to be around gardening and raised gardens. The third one is going to be Gold Star and veterans and first responders. And then the fourth pillar would be youth education. And so once I've done that, for each one of these pillars, I want to go in and see what possible topics I could develop around the pillar to really give me topic authority and keyword density. To better understand what topics I want to develop, I asked ChatGPT to say, give me 10 topics related to Gold Star family recognition and OLI Gardens. So now this is the overlap between what I have expertise in and what people are looking for. And you see it gave me 10 different topics that I might want to use. The ones at the top are much more Gold Star family centric. And so I can take those and actually say, now give me 10 topics on each one of those subjects to begin to develop a library of different sorts of content I could develop to really make the hub viable and of interest to the target market. And so all of these are good topics, but I might want to hone it in to certain groups and maybe just do a few topics underneath these groupings, and then put that into my OLI Gardens, Gold Star Family, and Veterans Hub. Here's another one, a little bit different. It's for a hydration company that I've used in a number of videos. Here the pillars are family fitness and wellness relative to hydration, hydration tips for active kids and teens, hydration for runners and athletes. But then you notice pillar 4 is hydration science and news. So it's not really targeting any one of their high value markets, but it is a very viable subject because there's a lot of change going on with hydration and how it can be used. And so you don't necessarily have to target a specific target market, but be sure that when you're building a pillar that's not targeting a market, that it is something that's general as opposed to here's our products and services, and make sure it's a general topic that is going to be of interest to all of your target markets as opposed to just talking about the products and services that you make. One question I get quite frequently is what happens if the hub pillar doesn't work? In other words, you've created the pillar, you've put out about 4 or 5 pieces of content, you've marketed it out, and there's not really a lot of interest being shown by the high value market that you're talking about. Then what should you do? The first thing you could do is check your marketing program. Are you using the right hashtags? Are you putting it out there enough? Is it going to communities where you know that your high value market is located? Make sure that you are really reaching out to the market using the hashtags and the different sites and the experts that you know are into this market to make sure your message is getting out there. They just may be unaware that you have created this content and therefore they aren't visiting your site. The second thing you can do is see if there's an industry or technology change that's happened, or maybe there's new products that are out there. So if competitors come in with better products, if technology changes, or new social sites erupt and really attract your target market, you may be in the wrong place or you may be in the wrong competitive position. So check that out to make sure it works. Also, don't feel bad about abandoning losers. In other words, for a lot of companies, they develop their topic hubs, but then the market moves on. And so if you have a loser and you know it's not working, you've talked to some of the people in your target market, and it's a pillar that they weren't interested in, just create a better pillar and abandon and don't put any more investment into one that isn't attracting your target markets. And finally, don't be afraid to develop other sorts of hub pillars. These evolve over time. Topics that were really big in digital marketing 5 years ago are not that big now. And so you want to build pillars that are going to be relevant today to the high value markets that you want to develop. So if you have any questions on any of the topics we've discussed, please feel free to contact me at the email addresses listed below.